For millennia, they formed worlds, and Gielinor was their perfect creation. It was also their last. Gielinor lay silent and concealed. But all treasures must be found. A young god named Guthix came upon the world, and he was overwhelmed by its beauty. He desired to share it with others. Gateways were opened, and he brought in peaceful beings. They tended the land and lived in balance with the world. Gielinor was in the hands of mortals, and the time had come for Guthix to leave. He journeyed under the earth and slept. But Guthix was not the only god. One by one, others found Gielinor, and instead of a world of balance, they saw a world of opportunity. New races swarmed through portals with no desire for peace or harmony. They were schemers, warriors, killers. Violence was swift to follow. God fought God. Mortal fought mortal. And a powerful few dared to fight their masters. Out of chaos, the god wars erupted, raging for centuries. In the north, a god named Zamorak tore a continent asunder. Gielinor, once perfect, was forever scarred. The world cried out with pain, and Guthix broke. He cast the gods out. The god wars were brought to an end, and Guthix built walls around the world. No god could set foot on Gielinor. It was a gift to mortals. Soldiers lay down their arms. Peace returned, and cities were built on battlefields. The gods despised that peace. They clawed at the boundaries of the world, hunting for a weakness. And mortals went about their lives, but they could not have anticipated what would happen next. An upheaval that would change Gielinor forever.
gods are gone from Gielinor. Their wars left the world in ruins. It feels like I've been fighting forever. The Dark God's servants still spread their master's power. There is no magic too unholy for them to use. But as long as I draw breath, I will fight. These are dark days, but as long as there are heroes, there is hope.
Afraid to fight. Trolls strong. Strong take from weak. Take everything humans have. Soon humans gone forever. When humans gone, trolls come down. Start digging! They've tunneled through into the mine. Watch out! Come on, we have to find their leader.
Adventurers aren't born. They are forged. And I was forged, face first, in the fire of the King Black Dragon. I'd have been toast if it wasn't for a passing adventurer. She saved my life. She gave me a shield. And I had my purpose. I was gonna slay that dragon. Now, there are 3 rules of dragon slaying. First rule, get yourself a sword and make the blade yourself. Second rule, don't start by fighting dragons. Try fighting something that can't swallow you whole. The third rule's the most important. Find friends who've got your back. You'll have to share your loot, sure, but friendship is probably worth it. Having mastered the 3 rules, I faced the 3-headed beast. And treated myself to a trophy. And that, my friends, is how you become a hero. Rule number 4. If a dragon has more than 1 head, make sure you cut them all off. Adventure calls. You coming?
Am I not a just ruler? Has this great golden city not prospered under my reign? Then why do vagrants bay at my walls? Thieves pry at my coffers, and assassins hound my step.
We have found its weakness. I think about how we got here. About the bodies that line that path. Only war can stop this suffering. Only war can bring us peace. For one more day, let the blood flow.
Saradomin. Zamorak. I cannot allow you to continue. What? This power is mine!
bridge is breaking. We have to leave. I need your permission. We're going now!
There's more to the world than this. You need to forget what you know and embrace what you don't. 'Cause there's treasure in the Eastern lands, just not where you'd expect it. It's a place to get rich if you've got quick hands. And every island can be claimed if they don't claim you first. So come to the Eastern Lands, fill your boots, and I promise we won't steal them from you.
Kharid-et was truly forsaken. Though it fell right at the beginning of the Third Age, it has remained untouched for millennia. The place is filled with the ghosts of its past. It's a wonder none of the archaeologists have encountered them so far. It is clear to us now why the monolith wished for us to dig here. The magical readings are off the charts. I feel we have only scratched the surface of what ancient magical power sits beneath here, buried in the shadows. The Russian Empire's very existence was once the greatest of archaeological mysteries for us to uncover, and we achieved that here at Sentistan. And although the Empire was supposedly sprawling, it was so utterly destroyed that finding a near-intact fort buried beneath the sands is cause for celebration. The monolith has a strong connection with something buried deep beneath this fort, however. Was the monolith itself Zerosian? No, surely not. It's beyond ancient. There is only one way to find out what the connection is. We must dig deep at Kharid-et and discover what lies beneath. Its directions to the source. It points northwest, but the distance and depth are unclear, variable. At least Mavario seems confident we are digging in the right place. He explores rumors of a cult that seemingly operated in this area throughout the Third Age. Though what the source itself actually is remains a mystery. Perhaps all of this is due to the chaotic nature of the thing. The monolith revealed this chaotic nature to me. That is why it is so interested in learning more about this. Given me information on the Icene structure known as Everlight, a lighthouse on Mauritania's east coast. More than just a lighthouse, though, it served as a beacon of hope for the Icene race newly migrated to Gielinor. But what could power such a beacon to shine so brightly day and night across the surrounding hallowed lands? And what opposing force of darkness could have snuffed out the Everlight and sunk it beneath the waves? The monolith shared what it could about the Warforge, but it's as you would expect from a Bandosian construction. Bandos' mercenary armies are quite well documented in comparison to other Third Age events after all, and they had to be trained somewhere. What strikes me most, however, is that the few artifacts discovered so far are not consistent with other Bandosian creations. Who or what created the armaments for Bandos' mercenaries? And why is this secret so well buried? The Ansi's use of floating citadels is already well known now, thanks to the resurgence of their use as clan citadels. Yet Stormguard, it seems, was an incredibly well-kept secret for it to be rediscovered only now, many ages on. What secrets has it held for all this time, floating above our very heads? What wonders might it hold? The monolith has no further information to share here. Stormguard is a mystery even to it, and it wants to learn.
Good people of Gielinor, thank you for coming. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Sarah. Some call me the goddess of the elves. I have called you here because you represent every race of people and every god on Gielinor. There is a threat which faces every one of us, one you may be unaware of. The Elder Gods. They are beings older than our world. Indeed, they created this world, and indirectly everything on it. For the entire lifetime of this planet, they have slept. But now, they are waking up. They laid their eggs in the heart of the planet, and when they hatch, they will consume Gielinor and all life on it. Then they will move on to the rest of the universe, destroying world after world, until their work is finished and there is nothing but darkness. We have only one chance to avoid this fate. You must meet with the Elder Gods. Prove to them that you are more than merely food to be consumed. I am sure that they will come to see your value, as I have. That is why I have brought you here. To warn you. To plead with you to make this case. It is only by working together that you can do this. Only united can you show the Elder Gods that you are worthy. The World Guardian arrived just too late. Karapak's plan had worked flawlessly. With a triumphant shout, he plunged the staff into the needle to absorb its power. Gale watched in horror as control of the needle was torn from her and given to the Dragonkin. In an instant, she was Gale no more. Primrose stood, staring at the monster before her. Karapak roared in triumph, the power of the needle now his to command. He took to the air, and the needle vanished from sight at the whim of its new master. He flew east to the coast and out across the sea, vanishing into a great storm. And there he set to work on the next stage of his endeavor.
Orthan, though evidently not the only dragonkin settlement to be found on Gielinor, was both its first and its greatest. When Anachronia was brought forward in time, it gave us the rare opportunity to study dragonkin civilization, even if only via the ruins of Orthan. What secrets might we uncover about the dragonkin race from prehistory? And what was their life like before the elder god curse that befell them? Rumors abound among archaeologists of buried hoards of treasure, nefarious entities waiting to be freed into the world, technologies beyond our own.
Gielinor was an untouched, unspoiled wilderness. Only plants and animals lived there, untroubled by language or industry. A handful of elder artifacts had been discarded by the elder gods. One of these was the Codex, a repository of both knowledge and power. When a great beast came across the strange monolith, it couldn't know what awaited. It emerged from the Codex fundamentally changed. It was a colossus, an animal demigod, the ultimate apex predator, unchallenged. When the Dragon King arrived, they were fascinated by the creature. They found it, captured it, and imprisoned it in their city. They called it Raksha. Nothing quite like it has been seen before or since. It was not just a colossus, but a shadow colossus. Its power came not from the elder gods, but from somewhere else. To the priest Kranon, it was a religious inspiration, the source of his heresy. The scientist, Kerapak, took a very different line of inquiry. He experimented until the beast was of no more use to him. I recommend that you do not allow it to leave the complex. The damage it could inflict is constant.
Ancient powers. Older than time itself. Seeking life? No. Destruction. Deadly forces gather. We must prepare. war is coming.
I was not always Azanadra, your trusted friend. 6,000 years ago, I was Azanadra, Pontifex Maximus of the Zerosian Empire. I maintained civilization and the rule of my lord against all those who called themselves gods. I am very familiar with Seren's influence. We can no longer rely on this council. They are completely under her sway now. In time, they will recover their initiative, but for now, they are nothing but puppets. Disappointing, but not unexpected. Seren is obsessed with the adult elder gods. Her guilt and shame blind her to the true threat. It is not the adults who are destined to destroy us. It is their unborn children. If they wake, they will devour this world, and in time, all worlds. If the best these fools can do is waste their time on senseless appeasement, then it falls to us to save them. We must find the Elder God eggs. We must stop them hatching.
This world was lush once, green and flourishing, a perfect womb for the sleeping gods. Within their shells they slumbered in a yoke of incredible power. The currents of magic drove more and more energy into the eggs until they reached a bursting point. Sensing the impending birth of their young, the adults pressed in close. With a touch, they imparted their identities and their memories. The eggs burst open and the hatchlings within emerged ravenous. Their mere presence drained all life from the cavern around them. Within moments, every other living thing nearby was dead, drained of all life. Nothing could stop them. The world was doomed. Further and further, their reach expanded, blanketing everything. Minutes later, Frenesque was a desolate husk. The sated hatchlings traveled out into the universe to remake it. In time, they grew old and hid eggs of their own beneath the surface of Gielinor. When they hatch, our world will suffer the same fate as Frenesque. We must stop them. impending birth of their young, the adults pressed in close. With a touch, they imparted their identities and their memories. The eggs burst open and the hatchlings within emerged ravenous. Their mere presence drained all life from the cavern around them. Within moments, every other living thing nearby was dead, drained of all life. Nothing could stop them. The world was doomed. Further and further, their reach expanded, blanketing everything. Minutes later, Frenesque was a desolate husk. The sated hatchlings traveled out into the universe to remake it. In time, they grew old and hid eggs of their own beneath the surface of Gielinor. When they hatch, our world will suffer the same fate as Frenesque. We must stop them.
Civilization destroyed. My people cursed, bound, in pain, united in our suffering. I could not imagine a worse fate. My imagination was lacking. Bound once more to her service, now I suffer alone. I am commanded to secure the eggs. For this, I require an army. The No-Dawn Dragonkin. Cowards. Rather than lift a finger, they slept through the curse. They will serve me dutifully. The needle, the conduit, the very tools of my oppressor, the source of my power, the walls of my prison. As long as I wield them, I can never be free, but she will not let me give them up. Jas seeks only to preserve what is left of her kind. For that, she would trade the universe. Once, I would have made the same trade. The only thing that matters to me now is my freedom. Let everything else wither.
Leng was one of the first planets created by the Elder Gods. It was no paradise, but it birthed an industrious civilization whose name is now long forgotten. When the icy comets appeared in the sky, the people of Leng had no idea what awaited them. The crashing comets wrought devastation as they landed, but something worse rose out of the craters. The incorporeal invaders formed towering suits of armor from the ice they brought with them. That same ice spread across the whole world, covering the cities and freezing their people. Their work done, the Glaciers stood vigil over a silent, dead world for countless eons. When the Elder God, Wen, needed powerful servants, she found them waiting in this inhospitable place. Anathema suffused the planet and its denizens. Could she really unleash them against Gielinor, the hatchery for her precious egg. Unwilling to approach such tainted beings, she opened portals for them and turned her face from the destruction to come.
I was there, in the year of Croesus. The year the fungus killed 50,000 people, and the 10th Legion were annihilated. It was the Second Age, not long after the end of the Kharid-et campaign. An expedition returned from the unquiet ocean with a very unusual species of fungus. The fools thought they could turn it into a weapon. A botanical plague they could unleash on the enemies of the Empire. They called it Croesus. Its spores infested the bodies of the dead, spreading and growing. They fed it slaves, tested it, burned away weakness, forced it to evolve. They did their jobs far too well. After one serious breach, they were ordered to cease their work. They didn't. Inevitably, Croesus broke free into the city again, choking the streets with its putrescent growth. Nothing could stop it. Priests and guards alike were powerless, and their bodies only served to fuel its flourishing. I was with the 10th Legion when we were recalled from the border to combat the infestation. After days of fighting, my wings ached and my dragon fire was spent. We razed miles of city to contain it. The Legion were almost completely wiped out. It still wasn't enough. In the end, Lord Zaros was forced to intervene personally. He quarantined this whole district, simply buried it beneath the earth. I thought the remains of Croesus were destroyed. They assured me they were destroyed. They say that of all the elder gods, Bic holds intelligent life in the greatest contempt. She must have found Croesus beneath the graveyard and revived it. Even now, it feeds on the ancient dead. It's already massacred every defender on this front. If we don't drive it back, it will tear the cathedral to pieces.
I am Zook. I have been a chieftain, a gladiator, a warlord, a demigod. I was born into a world where all were free. Then the Empire came, conquered my people, threw me into the pits. I was to die there. Nothing could challenge me. Demons, dragons, and vampires fell to my blade. From the great tribune Torva, I won back my freedom. I went in search of worthier foes. Beneath a distant volcano, I found the ultimate arena. The Tok'ha, who shaped the mountains at the dawn of time, battled endlessly. They fell all the same. They called me Tzakal, champion of the fire. The first outsider to defeat them all. For my prize, I claimed the Elder Kiln itself. For centuries, it changed me. I became undying. Like Tok'ha, I am born again within the kiln. Unlike Tok'ha, my mind is my own. The god wars called to me. The Tok'ha would not follow, but the lava beasts would. We carved through the weak surface dwellers effortlessly. It was only Bandos himself who stopped me. Coward. He chained me within the kiln. When Full needed an army, she had no use for the failed Tok'ha. They were remade, artisans reforged into soldiers. Now they are the Tsekha, united in purpose. They serve without question, mine to command. Full wants the eggs, but I pay no heed to her desires. I seek only the glory of combat. Is anyone in this alliance worthy? Refuse me, and your world will end.
I did not expect you to find it in another. The Shadow Leviathan struck without warning. I felt its presence tear into our reality. It was Karapak that broke the balance. Heedless of the terrible pain his defiance earned him, he directed the full force of his artifacts towards their creator. Its power spent, the needle broke. Distracted, Jas was overwhelmed. The monstrous intruder dragged its prey back into its own realm. Without the needle, Karapak was powerless to avoid the same fate. Its hunger satisfied, the breach snapped shut, leaving in its place a terrible silence. Jas was the greatest of us all. Irreplaceable. Her loss forced me to accept something. Your survival depends on our deaths. I had no choice. For my family to survive, a world had to die. They reached down from the sky, the hands of creation itself, as they to birth their waiting children. Passed from one generation to the next, eons of identity stretching back through time. The eggs burst open. As the lifeless bodies of the adults fell, the power of the newborn children drained all life from the planet. All life. The children. My family. At last, they live. They know me. They love me. They spared me. They have fulfilled their birthright. All other life on Aya is gone. But you survived. How?
Unholy despot! I bring a message from Zamorak, Lord of Chaos, Imperator of Gielinor, Dictator of Infernus and the Lower Planes, etc. The Empire of Chaos has returned! This world is ours! Your armies are spent, O Saradomin, while our demons outnumber the stars. You sit in crumbling fortresses, while our forces attack at their leisure. Your people are starving, while we burn your crops as offerings. Even now, all-powerful Zamorak summons legions to this world from behind an impregnable shield. Supplicate yourself before him, and he will spare the lives of your few misguided followers. Refuse, and his wrath shall consume all lands.
I have lived by one maxim. Liberty or death. RuneScape was the perfect world. Harsh, but fair. Survival forced my people to become the greatest of warriors.
Continue the conversation.
When the stranger promised us conquest and plenty, we followed him. It was a mistake. On Gielinor, I built a mighty empire in the name of the dark god Zaros. But he and I did not share the same vision for the future. When I saw freedom, he saw only control. My people, once warriors, became priests, bureaucrats, sanitation engineers. To win their freedom, I struck down a god. To safeguard it, I became one. On Infernus, I led a downtrodden people to victory. Hostilius, a corpulent monster grown fat and indolent, maintained order through rules and laws. His laws did as little to protect him as his skin did. I strung up his corpse as a message for all to see. Such is the fate of all tyrants. The Avernic demons, now free, serve me willingly. Back on Gielinor, pretenders picked over the remains of my empire. For an age I battled them. An age of strife, of progress, of glory. While I fought on, none could establish the safety, the security that they so craved. For an age, Gielinor was truly free. But they conspired against me, and I was banished. In my long absence, this world has become weak. Saradomin's fingers are wrapped tightly around its throat, suffocating it. My demon army will make short work of its farmers, woodcutters, and fishermen. The survivors will be stronger. They will have no choice. Gielinor's people will be free, or they will die.
Everything changed when the gods were banished from this world. As Basilissa, it is my responsibility to safeguard the human kingdoms and maintain their alliance. But our unity is already under threat. Without a clear leader, the Zamorakians have descended into civil war. Even as we speak, they battle for control of the wilderness. Better that they're killing each other than our people. But the conflict isn't contained. A Margaret lieutenant has been slaughtering Barok's patrols near the border. Moya.
Continue the conversation after
though she serves Bilrak, I believe she poses the bigger threat. We must prove to the kingdoms that I can protect them. Travel into the wilderness, find Moya, and stop. My people, it is a heavy responsibility to wear this crown, to bear the burdens of serving you. But I do so not with fear, not with glee, but with tremendous love for you all. As I have walked the cities, I have seen compassion, joy, and kindness at every corner. I have seen the bravery of everyone from the armored knight to the tireless shopkeeper. I have visited worlds made of crystal and seen stars made of music. But in all my travels, I have never seen anything as wondrous as all of you. I promise that I shall do everything in my power to keep you safe. Everything I can to make your lives just a little bit better each and every day. I cannot do this alone, but I know that I am not. For just as I stand with each of you, so do I know in my heart that you all stand with me. Thank you. Thank you for letting me bear the burden of this crown. I will try my best to live up to it. Thank you. Thank you all. I have no words for a speech. What words could possibly convey the gratitude I feel right now? For your respect and your love. There is a song that is sung on Hallow. It is memorized and passed on from parent to child. Each time we add our own voice to it, to change it, to make it part of a living story. I would like to share mine with you all, as the story now grows with you.
In my work, the cycle of life, the inevitable end, and the place beyond. Some wish to corrupt that cycle. Raziel, the first necromancer, has risen once more. He seizes the dead from their rightful slumber. His ultimate ambition, to build an army of spirits that will bring an end to all life on Gielinor. Come, join me in the underworld. The city of a place in limbo. Streets that were once crowded with the dead now stand empty. The necromancer is gaining power. He enthralls the spirits in the Well of Souls. He will bring an end to everything. No life, no death, only oblivion. A great sacrifice sacrifice is required. You must act. The time is now. Master the art of necromancy. Free the enthralled spirits. They yearn for release. Conjure powerful creatures. And harness necrotic energy. Bring light to the darkness. Commune with the spirits and restore the city's life force. Raziel was a powerful teacher in life. Your opponent may be your greatest instructor yet. Now is your final test. Let's see what you have learned. Good. My invitation has been accepted. My guest arrives in the underworld. Up the river of souls. Across the lake of memories. To the city of The Well of Souls is a beacon. A guiding light to all the vagrant dead. I will give them purpose, direction. They will spread my influence to the world above. You will be the key to my victory. I will teach you. You will be my last apprentice. I am the first necromancer. Kingdom crippled by war and famine. Easy pickings. Until that meddlesome fort sprung from the filth. This upstart duke thinks they can scupper my plans? I'll show them. I will awaken the ancient power that slumbers here. And it shall serve my will. Fort Forinthry will crumble, and Misthalin will be mine for the taking. If they will not serve me in life, then they shall serve me in death. You are too late, Duke. The dragon is mine. This island shall be your tomb. And nobody will be there to save your precious fort.